Hey! You okay there?
Jesus.
You're not real!
For some people's, action films are enough to give an adrenaline rush. But there are a lot of people who prefer different content for this. The content we are talking about is horror. Yes, it seems just a normal word, but we dare you to see any film from this list in a dark room alone. We welcome you to our channel, The Film Gossips. And today, we have brought you top 5 horror movies ever made. So buckle up guys, because this is going to be scary. At number 5, we got The Thing.
12 men have just discovered something. For 100,000 years, it was buried in the snow and ice.
I know I'm human. Some of you are still human. This thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide inside an imitation.
Something you don't know will frighten you. It is one of the most common traits of human psychology. But sometimes it becomes more frightening when you really know about something you are dealing with. This phenomena is well used in this 80s science fiction horror. Based on the novel of John Campbell Jr., this film is one of its kind. Directed by John Carpenter, its story follows a group of scientists who come face to face with a parasitic alien life, which can intimidate any form of life. Gory, thrill, and scary, this film is a package of all things you can ask for. Kurt Russell and Keith David are in leading roles with their amazing acting skills. Special effects are also great to enhance its scariness. Still today, this film is considered a revolutionary work in a genre of horror and science fiction.
You guys gonna listen to Gary? He can beat one of those things!
At number 4, we got Hereditary.
It's heartening to see so many strange new faces here today. I know my mom would be very touched.
Sometimes I swear I can feel them in the room. She isn't gone.
Released in 2018, this movie surprised critics and scares its audience with its story, acting of the cast, and horrific scenes. It was a directorial debut of Ari Aster, who wrote and wrote this cult-based horror drama film. Based on a family whose demonic and sinister inheritance leads them to horrible fate, this film is a true depiction of cult-practicing people. Casting Alex Wolff and Toni Collette in leading roles, their performance will send cold shivers to your spine. It does not involve any CGI or special effects to strengthen the horror element, but the way the movie forwards is absolutely fantastic. Ari Aster has a full grip on his movies, and his intelligence is clear in pace, cinematography, and surprising endings. Praised by critics and audience, this film was a commercial and critical success. It earned many accolades as well as $80.2 million against a budget of $10 million.
She had private rituals, private friends.
She wasn't altogether there at the end.
At number 3, we got The Shining.
Told you anything in Denver about the tragedy we had up here during the winter of 1970? I heard a man named Charles Grady is the winter caretaker.
Well, you can rest assured, Mr. Ullman, that's not going to happen with me.
That's right.
Is there something bad here?
I fear you will have to deal with this matter.
When two genius people work together on the same project, you can't expect the outcome because it is always beyond the imagination of common people. It was proved by this film when legendary director Stanley Kubrick made this film, written by another legend, Stephen King. It follows a writer, Jack Torrance, who resides in an empty hotel with his family. The hotel, with a violent history, took its toll on Jack's mind, and his sanity is gone. The character of Jack Torrance is played by none other than Jack Nicholson, who has done an amazing job. This horror classic film is an example of Stanley's genius. He took a simple concept of haunted place and created this masterpiece, which still withstands the test of time. This trio of 3 legends from cinema and their effort in this film can never be forgotten. If you're a cinephile and still haven't seen this film, you are not worthy to be one.
What I do that I
killed you with Danny.
At number 2, we got the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. A lot of good movies are inspired by true events or real-life personalities. Very few horror films are based on real events, and this film is one of them. Although it is inspired by the crimes of Ed Gein, its plot is largely fiction. Directed by Tobe Hooper and featured Marilyn Burns and Paul Partain, this slasher horror film follows a group of people who encountered a cannibalistic family. Upon its release in 1974, this film was ahead of its time due to graphic content and bloody scenes. The people who see this film the first time began to throw up in cinemas and homes. But apart from core content, its theme and pace were amazing. It scares and entertains its audience at the same time. That's why it was an instant hit and created a franchise on its own. Many film critics voted it to be the best horror film from Hollywood, but it comes in second place.
Come on, Franklin. It's gonna be a fun trip.
At number 1, we got Exorcist.
Somewhere between science and superstition, there is another world.
Let's see what
Nobody believed it, and nothing could stop it.
If anyone asks you about the best horror film ever made in this world, you can say The Exorcist out loud. Nobody, literally nobody will ever deny this fact. Produced and written by William Peter Blatty, this movie changed the horror genre upon its release. There is no need to discuss its plot here, but you might have some idea from its name. A commercially and critically successful horror film, it was the only film from the horror genre which received 10 Oscar nominations and won 2. It was so scary and horrific film that people got heart attacks and miscarriages by seeing it. Psychologists and doctors were forced to prohibit their faint-hearted patients from seeing it. Cinematic neurosis was triggered and studied by psychologists, and it became a topic for researchers at academic institutions. So it is evident that this film is still the best horror film ever made in this world.
You tell me you know for a fact that an exorcism wouldn't do any good. You tell me that!
There are no experts. You probably know as much about possession as most priests.
So guys, if you have not watched any film from this list, you might want to watch with your friends. The Film Gossips will keep bringing such amazing videos for your infotainment, but you have to subscribe and hit bell icon for new arrivals.